Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another Kickstarter critique where I take a look at a different Kickstarter tabletop game project every single weekday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and give my honest thoughts on how that project is being ran. And today, we're doing something a little bit different. I've had requests to mix up the formula from time to time, and I thought today would be the perfect day because Aldarra was a game I originally had scheduled, I believe from like a month ago. And you can even see in the description, I mentioned how it had over 7,000 pre-backers. Because if you launch your own Kickstarter project, you can generate buzz and you can get people essentially to sign up, and then they will get an email day one when the Kickstarter launches. And so Aldarra had over 7,000. I was like, okay, this game is going to be huge, and so I set up the event for it. Yesterday, I want to tell you, it was in 8th place on popularity chart. Obviously, it's not listed anymore, but it was on 8th place yesterday, and it launched on Tuesday, which you got to say, if you're having this massive mega minis project and it launches at 8th, you're probably honestly a little bit disappointed with that. Perhaps given the current circumstances, they might find this video more actionable than other victims of your critique. Victims! What do you mean the word victims? Most publishers, either, I would say, honestly, at this point, I would say 30, roughly, probably on 30% of people, 30 to 50 that I do projects on, at some point will change something in their campaign that is like directly something I was like, oh, that'd be a great idea here. So I don't think the word victims is fair there. And in fact, I have a Fiverr level. People pay me to do these onto their Kickstarters. It has a very highly ranked thing. So let's not start spreading rumors that they're victims. Like, I do this with no ill spirit in my heart. But this one was in 8th place. Aldarra, fierce fantasy conflict and awe-inspiring airships set in the popular world of Sordane. Fight over the lost nation of Ardarra. So I gotta say, right from the get-go, I'm not inspired by this. You're just talking about theme. Fierce fantasy conflict. Wait, okay. Awe-inspiring airships. Yeah, I see the big picture. Obviously, you're focusing on the minis. You have dice here. They're acrylic. They look okay. A massive box. You're showing me essentially what I'm going to buy. But I don't know the player count. I don't know the time length. I don't know the age. I don't know the mechanisms. I don't know the price. There's just so much I don't know aside from, oh, it's just another one of those space games with big ships and minis and a giant box, which is a dime a dozen now on Kickstarter. So I click on this. As always, when you go into the video, I'm thinking three things. Do I want it? Can you do it? How much is it? Let's go. Oh, those are nice.
3 centuries ago.
Too fast, too fast. Super annoyed. And this is exactly what I talk about when I say minis porn. It's the focus so much on the minis and so little on anything else. There's cards over here, there's good-looking player boards with tons of information, but how many seconds of that do we get? Because it's just gorgeous. Hey, minis. Oh, there's other stuff too, but now we're back out. We're to the theme.
3 centuries ago, the mighty nation of Aldarra was lost. A convergence storm of cataclysm.
Now, I do like the fact they at least showed me some of the components before we got straight into the theme, because I think going straight into the theme without showing me anything is never a good move.
Cosmic proportions swept across the land, decimating the people who resided within its borders and leaving it uninhabitable. Now, Aldarra is being reclaimed by those seeking wealth, land, and power. In Aldarra, you play as a mighty faction, warring for control of this long-lost nation.
So pretty much we're playing as a bunch of really rich people who built a bunch of mechs and are now trying to take over a land that got destroyed. Okay. Cool.
Exterminate your opponents and complete secondary objectives to earn the victory points you need to win.
Control 4 territories adjacent to the strongholds of at least 2 other players. Okay, that sounds like a Twilight Imperium style objective there. 4X style objective. Okay, cool.
Venture forth from your stronghold to explore new territory.
Ooh, okay. Crystals on the board.
Expand.
Ah, immediately mine 1 territory. So these are like action cards. Okay.
And your control. Extract resources to grow, replenish, and upgrade.
I want to read that. What is it? Oh, the upgrade, though. That's what they were trying to focus on here. At the beginning of each round or combat, you may choose either or neither. Cruisers must be targeted before any other airships, or cruisers must be... Okay, so this is great. This is what I want to see. Then it upgrades to something cool. This is cool mechanism.
Use each faction...
Oh, now we're showing that player board. That looks good. Look at all the information. Like in so many games would not spotlight this. Like, spotlight that. Yes, it's so
unique
good.
Abilities and strengths to strategically outmaneuver and crush your...
I wish this wasn't such a fast shot. I think more than 7 seconds would have been good here for this specific thing, because you're talking about asymmetric factions. You're talking about variability. You're talking about me wanting to play the game at a bare minimum 4 times so I can experience every single one of these. If it is, in fact, filling that Twilight Imperium niche or trying to carve its way into that, which I'm getting with that massive box, which honestly reminds me a little bit of the old coffin-style Twilight Imperium box.
Your opponents. Randomly generated maps.
Wow, this is the vibe of TI is just hard right now. Okay, cool.
And variable starting positions demand dynamic tactics from turn 1 and ensure no 2 games are the same.
Wow.
Over 150
Oh my gosh.
massive and finely detailed miniatures. 4 unique.
Okay, so I go back to that main image that I felt was like very uninspiring, and I think immediately, maybe we say over 150 minis. Somewhere in here, over 150 minis. And you might even tell me the size of the minis. I mean, some of them. I mean, I don't know. That's a lot to tell me in the main image, but you could do it, I
4
believe.
factions, dozens of map tiles, and hundreds of cards and tokens combine for an epic, fast-paced 4X game experience that will dominate your table. Will you control...
Okay, so I want to go back to this. Epic, fast-paced 4X is better than every other single word on this entire description. Period. In my personal opinion. Let me know if you disagree. But I don't think anybody is, because fierce fantasy conflict, no-inspiring airship set of the blah blah, or maybe Sordane. If Sordane is something that a lot of people know about, then maybe that word might be important. But right now, I'm just saying epic, fast-paced 4X. Giant minis, 150 of them. I don't think we're doing a good job spotlighting, because we got minis, they look pretty. Whatever, everybody's got minis. Everybody's minis look pretty, and if they don't, well, then you got yourself a separate problem. But I think that could have been conveyed a lot better in that main, thing, because you got to grab people there. You got to grab people there.
the skies and conquer the land? The forgotten riches of Aldarra are calling.
Okay. Player count, time length, age. Those are, well, age less important here because I'm assuming it's a 13, 14-year-old plus game. But player count, time length, age. Why is that so hard for companies to realize they need? It's on the side of every single box. Like, come on. It's because I don't think we've gotten that information. Here we go. 90 to 108 minutes. 3 to 4 players. Ooh, okay. So that's also another potential bugaboo I see here. 3 to 4 players. That's a super limiting player count. That immediately, for me, is a huge turnoff. So maybe that's why they don't want to spotlight it. And hopefully this expands up to 5 or something like that, because that's a really limited player count right there. You know, you think Twilight Imperium, I believe, goes 2 to 10. I mean, you don't see that player count too often. And I know everybody's just like, oh, Bauer, the price sucks, the price sucks, the price sucks. That's what I've heard through the grapevine. That's what Steven was saying earlier. The price is apparently terrible. But there's not just it. Because there's other Kickstarter projects with prices that suck. Like, we all know this. So there's other things at play here. And I think a 3 to 4... and if maybe they're going to unlock 5 players, and that's one of the big stretch goals or something like that. But that's a hard sell. 3 to 4 players, I think it's just a hard sell for a lot of people. A fast-paced 4X combat-focused strategy game, 152 massively and finely detailed miniatures will be your tools to ensure your opponents... there's tons of miniatures in this game. No, this quote is garbage. Like, immediately. That is so redundant. I know. That is not the quote. There's tons of miniatures in this game, and that right there kind of spotlights to me why I'm concerned about the gameplay of this game, by how infatuated you are with your miniatures. 7 seconds on those beautiful asymmetric character cards, and they're big and absolutely beautiful. Once again, nothing. I love the battles. It was a ton of fun. So now I know it has fun combat. That's it. That is the only thing I know from this quote. And once again, I'm not putting this on Mark. I'm putting this on Arcane Minis for putting a quote here that doesn't, I assume the game is fun. Like, if you're putting it up here, I should assume your game is fun. If it is a battling game, I should assume your game has fun battles. If it's a minis game, I should assume the minis look good. You know, so this is so little information conveyed in this, and this is your first quote. This is your opening. This is where you start, and it's just, I could see why this maybe wasn't hitting the needle much. Create and delivering high-quality STL files for 3D printing tabletop role-playing game miniatures. Okay. No mention of board games at all. And once again, when I see a company that is infatuated with their minis and they don't have a history in board games, they don't have a pedigree in board games, that always concerns me a little bit. Kingdoms of the Forlorn, the recent one, I had the same concern. Very creative name. So we got some people here. Good stuff. Should have some good customer service and updates. Oh, wait, it's canceled. Never mind. I forgot. It's weird. And now I'm looking at the behind the scenes. Here we go. So, Airship Campaign. So, this was their original thing. So, this is campaigns for tabletop role-playing game stuff. And then they had STL files. Okay, so that is their bread and butter. Let's make sure that everybody got their stuff. Not a flaming dumpster fire in the comments. Question, I see stats of the airships and things, but I haven't been able to find the rules for airship content. Hi, any updates on production? Been using the PDF file, but I'd love to get my hands on the hardcover. Yes, I'll be putting an update next week. We'll be entering manufacturing really soon. So this is not out yet. Okay, so one thing not out, and then the other one I'm pretty sure is just S3D. This is just STL files and miniatures. So surely this has been released, because I imagine they already had it pre-made. Oh, okay. So what is it? Comments, 2,901. That's scary. Why are there so many comments? Why are there so many comments? This is, okay, because, yeah, 3,685 backers and 2,900 comments. Is there a list of how big the ships are? Some of them have it listed and others don't. Okay, so, sorry to be bothered, but the stretch goals are still missing. With all the updates and time, it's hard to keep track. I think it's only, what is this? Thanks a lot. Hey, I've lost access to my, has anything been completed? As always, you can check the track file. I've been keeping up to date. We are nearing completion of releasing the second. So this was 4 months ago. Do people have their stuff? That's all I'm at. 104 updates. Wow. Stretch goal. So it doesn't look like it's flaming dumpster fires in here. Okay. So can you do it? Like, I believe that they can make the minis. I'll give them that. Gameplay-wise, I'm not convinced in any way, shape, or form. And this is one of those times where I feel like I need to do my due diligence here and go check what is it? The Board Game Geek rating of the designer. You know, I feel like this is all, because if it is Matt Fantastic, oh my god! Okay, so immediately, I think they're doing a disservice here by not mentioning Matt Fantastic. Matt Fantastic is one of the game designers that when I hear he's designed a game, I immediately am intrigued by the game. Like, period. He does game design a little bit different. He did Team 3. He did that Lemonade game that was out for Tuesday night games. So I feel like mentioning that isn't going to move the needle for a lot of people. But if you mention some of his other games, maybe, I don't know. But okay. So I do feel comfortable with the game design now, and maybe just mentioning those. With a couple pictures, a picture of his things. Retail not guaranteed. As a Kickstarter back, you'll be getting your copy even if we don't go for retail. As the cost of the game is too high, our retail run is not guaranteed right out of the gate. Backing now will ensure you a copy of Aldarra and help us bring the game to everyone's home for game night. Early bird freebies. Backing all in within the first 48 hours not only get you an extra discount on your pledge, but you will also get some awesome Elixir and our RPG package add-on. Okay. Discounted price. We may not go to retail, but we still be giving all Kickstarter backers a significant discount on RSRP. It's like, so we may not be going to retail, but that is the goal, that we're probably going to go to retail. Like, obviously, every company would love to go to retail. So if this thing were to get, say, 25,000 people on it, like, they're gonna make more than 25,000 copies, because the more you make, the price goes down. Kickstarter exclusive stretch goals. Now we're getting talking. There are Kickstarter exclusive stretch goals plans that will not be available to get outside of the Kickstarter. That's hot. And first wave shipping. Okay. So so I feel like their strategy was, we know the price sucks. We even alluded somewhere in here that the price sucks. So the price is going to suck. Hey, don't worry. The price is going to suck. The price is going to suck. But look, you get all this stuff. Early bird freebies. All this stuff. So here's the other thing too. I feel like this is a bit redundant. Like, I get why you're doing it, but I feel like this information is way more useful when you're actually showing me the things that I'm getting as an early bird, as opposed to just telling me the here, then having them right next to each other. Just the organization seems a bit off to me. Let me know what you think about that one. It's a brutal fight, resources and crystals to build your fleet. Oh, you're not going to tell me about the price? You're just going to warn me that the price sucks, but then you're not going to tell me the price. Now I want to know the price. Now you've made the price a thing. And here's the thing. You didn't have to make the price a thing. You know how many times I see a $300 Kickstarter project and I say, all right, that price sucks, but that's Kickstarter nowadays. You know how many times I see that? On a weekly basis. So you don't need to rub it in my face that the price sucks, because now you got me thinking, oh, wow, this price is probably going to suck. 28 millimeter scale miniatures. And so once again, this is something that always drives me nuts. You know that the majority of the people who are going to back are from the United States of America. 339 to 38 for the UK. You put in inches. 28 millimeter scale miniature. I know that everybody goes by millimeters. But if you're just a regular board gamer, a regular person, you got 15 to 25 games in your collection, and you're from the United States of America, there's a very good idea that you probably don't know exactly how big or small a 28 millimeter inch miniature is. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm excited for this price. Gotta be 250 plus. Yes, I would imagine. So I think I heard. And then, so we're doing it again. Box context. The Aldarra car box. Oh, the core box. If you're talking about core box, and this means this pledge level isn't even the one I want. This is the TLC Scrubs pledge level. You'll be seeing people driving out the passenger side of their best friend's ride trying to say, hey, you want to play some Aldarra? I don't want to play this basic version. Get out of here. It does look nice. This is a long, sexy scrolling shot. I will give them that. I wish you had the price. I wish you let off with the price here. I think, honestly, the best way to do this is to pitch it as like a Twilight Imperium style game, which I think they definitely had those vibes. But, you know, and like, hey, this thing is so big, it's so massive, it's so chunky, it might never come into existence again. And they did try to do that, but I feel like by mentioning the price, it just... And then we have the miniatures, Aldarra core box. What is this? Oh, so now you're focusing on just the miniatures. 38 miniatures. I would love to know the size of these. Like, you had this illustration right here, I think? Or was it this? But this isn't that helpful. Like, it's like, okay, if I know millimeters, then maybe it's helpful. But for 300 people, and let's what percentage of American? Okay, we're gonna go on a fun little social experiment. What percentage of Americans know the decimal system? What is that? That's what it's called? Because I actually am curious. Am I just stupid? What percentage? Okay, it's not the decimal system. I am just dumb. Oh my god, big oof on that one. Oh, not me. Keith means, yeah, but I would love to know, like, the actual percentage, because I'm going to guess it's probably 70 to 90. Like, you learn that, we learn it, they teach it to us for, like, 4 days in the American educational system. They're, like, done with it. At least in my school. So, they did! They converted it to inches here! Just for a split second! They converted it to inches, about 4 inches. That's huge! Wow! That's a giant honking mini! Now I'm more impressed. So, look at this! They did! They just put it all the way down here! Okay. Maybe we could use a little bit more of that up in here. Metric. That's the word. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin knows way. Yeah, that's like metric system. That's the one. That's the one where they have like a bar of gold or something underneath the ground that they protect and that so blows my mind. Area control fans. It's going to be great for you. Aldarra forces you to be in others' faces, and that is great. Okay, so now I know it's an area control game. Very confrontational. I like that. I mean, some people are immediately going to be turned off. Ooh, a comprehensive learn to play.
The fabled nation.
16 minutes.
All the light ships on.
So, here's something else that immediately comes to my mind. That video is 16 minutes. That tells me that this game is either not as deep as I thought it was, or that video is not as helpful as I thought it was. Which both of them, you know, and look at that. Let me put the TI right there. Yeah, it makes sense. But once again, it is a fast-paced one. I don't know. All right, rulebook download. Let's check that out. Aldarra rule booklet. Look at that, and that's a great shot. Using actual hands. That's a real human hand, I bet. That's great. Look at those things. Those things are gorgeous. Click to download the sample STL download so you can print forward for yourself. There's this giant board in these miniatures that are like the size of my fist. It's ridiculous looking, but very cool. Okay, the board's big. Big minis. It's cool. That's the quote. That's the quote that you decided on. Big board. Big minis. Cool game. Like, those are all things that I knew. I assume that your game doesn't suck. Like, maybe that's just me. When I go into these, I just presume your game is fun. So if one of the things you're trying to spotlight is how fun your game is, like, that's like, I don't know. I've already forgotten the playtime. It was 120 to 150 minutes, I think. 90 to 120. Oh, so here we go. And now the truth will set you free. Savage Skies, the expansion box. And this is going to come with, is this going to come with a fifth faction? No, it comes with another faction. It comes with 2 more factions. But what does that mean? Does that mean, and this is a massive box. Oh my gosh. Does that mean that this is now going to go up to 6 players? Because if that is information that you were trying to convey to me, that's information that you should slap me in the face with. It should be on the main image. 5 to 6 players with the whale or whatever. And I've seen other companies do it. It can be done. You can have a fancy little graphic that pretty much conveys it's this player count with the base game and this player count with the expansion. And that's so much more information that you could convey to me. And it's like, you don't at the beginning. Why do I want this? More stuff? Is it just because it's more stuff? What does this stuff do? Oh, here's more stuff. Even more stuff. More stuff. Cool. Is this one just minis? Oh, no, that's you folks. So you focus on the components, and then you have your own separate section where you focus on the minis, because that is clearly the most important thing about this game, which scares me. Why Kickstarter? Greetings, everyone. Our Kickstarter history. If you're back at one of our previous projects, you haven't got your stuff in the second one, I don't think. But I do like the fact they're mentioning it right here. They're mentioning, hey, we've done other projects, feel comfortable, 3 created, 188 backed. I honestly feel like this description here has got to go. At least focus on board games. Like, if you are trying to launch, if you are not happy with $156,000 in a day, then you need to mention that you're a board game company. Because I guarantee you that pretty much most other companies who are not like I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Because I see a lot of companies do this. They come in from a different field and they just plop, we're here, we kick ass, everybody bow down. And I don't want to say that's what they're trying to do, but that's kind of what it feels like. Like, at least, just little things. $250. Okay, it's a massive box. How big is this box? I would like to know the inches of this box, the dimensions of this box, because right now it looks like it's like 9 inches thick, which there's no way this is a 9-inch thick box. Like, I don't think it's, or if it is that big, then spotlight how big this box is. Like, actual dimensions. Put it next to a puppy. Put a very similar sized box next to something I am going to understand. Hint, Twilight Imperium. Old version, new version in this box next to it, and I guarantee you 90% of the people who are browsing right now are going to know roughly the exact size of your box. It's 9 inches thick. Oh my god. Well, first and foremost, I'm a good virtual guesser, apparently. That's insanity. How long is it? Is it 2 feet? Is that 9 by 24? Because here's the thing. If that box is actually a 9 by 24 or 36-inch box, just an absolute ridiculous monstrosity of a box, then you did not spotlight that well enough, in my personal opinion. Part of the reason why I think that CMON had such amazing success with that giant, massive expansion for X-Men Marvel was the fact that they leaned into how stupidly, ridiculously Kickstartery large their component was. And if you have a 9-inch thick box, I think you buried the lead here. At a 9-inch thick box, I don't even bat an eye at $250. I say to myself, okay, I am buying probably only one time ever will I ever be able to buy this, except for extravagantly high prices on the secondary market. And you're going to have an exclusive group of people who back projects just like that with like, maybe I'll play it or maybe I'll just flip it. I have met many of those people, and I don't think you advertise to those people well enough, because right now all I see is just a big freaking box of minis. But you know what? Everybody does a big box of minis. But your box of minis is just monstrosively, stupidly large. So I think they absolutely, if they're going to keep these miniatures at this size, need to lean into that. Lean into the fact that this could potentially be a collector's item. And I've seen some other companies do things similar to that. So now we have the base plus the expansion. And once again, I would like to know the size of these boxes. It makes so much sense to me. In the base game and no minis, still $180. Oh my gosh. Is the box still that big? Like, is that still the box I'm getting? Okay. That's weird. It's odd. That feels like one of those... Oh, man. Ugh. Kickstarter's so bizarre. Early Bird, the base game plus the expansion plus no minis. Okay? Early Bird, the base plus the expansion plus the STLs. And does that also means no minis, right? Because you just changed your verbiage. No. So this one comes with no minis, and just like for the people who don't want minis. But this one actually comes with the STL file, so you can print them off yourself. So you're charging me $145 to print off some minis. Okay, maybe maybe I'm just out of touch with the kids today, but that seems freaking ridiculous to me. Let me know. Let me know. Am I just out of touch? STLs only, $70. Okay, so here's the thing: base plus expansion, base plus expansion. So what's the difference here? Base plus expansion plus they're both early birds. So this is base plus the expansion plus no minis. I buy this for $250, and I come swing down here and I get this for $320. Why would I buy this one at $395 that comes with the base plus the expansion plus the STLs? Can't I just buy these a la carte and it's cheaper? And if the answer is no, then I think it should be a little bit more evident why. Because neither of these has no physical emitters and has wait, what? I don't know. This is not a fun shopping area. Okay, let's see. And we can always get a good feel for how useful pledge levels are, because if no one took it, you had a stupid pledge level that you didn't need, and you listened to a couple of whiny people and said, I want this pledge level! And then nobody actually took it. Hopefully that's not the case. 90 people here, reasonable pledge level, STLs only. So I am out of touch with the kid. There were 90 people who were like, yes, I just want to pay you $85 to buy and print off your things. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. There's no $1 level. So immediately, my first thought, and this is just honest off the cuff, is get bent. That's just me as a Kickstarter backer. If I see that you don't even have a $1 pledge level for me to just come in and just test your waters, get your updates, and then sit on the fence, if you won't even let me sit on the fence without, and I know you can still go in here and you can still just back for $1, but it's nice when you put the pledge level in there, and it also, if you have a large group of people, it's just, I think people are much more likely to back. I think, and so not having a $1 pledge level, not a fan. Even if it's just like, yeah, okay. So that one, $90. The base game and no minis, 2 backers. So there we go. That's the one where it's like, I want this without the minis. Yeah, nobody does. Nobody does, because here's the bottom line. You didn't convince me on your gameplay. Your minis were about how big, your quotes were about how big the minis were, how fun the combat was, and how big the tiles were. So yeah, nobody's here just for your game. You didn't spotlight your designers. Maybe we do that later on, but you have clearly told me what your biggest focus was, and that's on your stupid minis. And I don't care how nice they look, but I'm just sick and tired of everybody focusing on the damn minis. It's becoming to the point where you're not special because you have minis anymore. And that's just so... Alright, base game. So this is $30 off the MSRP, 9 backers, so I don't expect most people to be here because they could get the early bird, right? Early bird base, plus the expansion, plus no minis, and we have 45 backers. So 45 backers. Okay, so actually that's not bad. That's still 47 people who don't want your minis. All right. Early bird base plus the expansion. So this is what they're hoping is going to be the most popular pledge level, and it has 255, which I think was the largest. Early bird plus the STL. So this is if you want the game, plus you want to print off more of our stuff. 113. Wow. Okay, so I am out of touch with 3D printers. That's what this tells me. Okay, good to know. And I've never really checked out any of these STL file Kickstarters. They just don't excite me to any degree. But I didn't used to be excited about checking out tabletop role-playing game projects. And then I started to do it. You know what? I really like going on the journey. So you know what? I'm going to cover an STL thing next week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to force myself to do it. How to play Aldarra in 14 minutes. So this is another...
Different from the final.
Oh, no, it's okay. Same person. Okay, never mind. Preview, don't care. Preview, don't care. Free Friends gameplay, awesome. Get into the fight. And by the way, when I say preview, don't care, it's not because of the person doing the preview. Anytime I see the word preview, I immediately just gloss over it. And that comes from someone who does previews from time to time. You should gloss over mine. Interesting in trying out Aldarra for yourself. Try out the Game on Tabletop Simulator with some of your friends. Stretch goals, here we go. Translucent dice. I thought we already had this. I thought this was something you were advertising, wasn't it? Elixir early bird. So you get, if you're an early bird, you get the dice, but then if they hit the stretch goal, then you get the dice. Oh. That's really crappy. Like, that is just, like, let me know if I'm wrong. But if I'm an early bird, I'm immediately like, once again, I hate to keep saying this, but get bent. You're essentially trying to get me on fear of missing out by advertising these dice. Right here. But then in actuality, you have every intention of just getting those dice because you don't expect this thing to stall where it is, and you just showed your hand completely by stopping this at $156,000 when you would have made it. Now, I don't disagree with their basic premonition, because I do believe that there is a path where this Kickstarter has $500,000 to $1 million. And the way that is I think you advertise just how massive this is and how this is a once-in-a-lifetime style game. You've wanted to get one of these massive, mega, exclusively crazy large boxes. Now's your chance to do it. We're going to hit stretch goals, and it's going to get even better. And then if they can hit stretch goals, if they can have potentially micro stretch goals that they added onto there, it could get to the point where people would start to talk themselves into the value and start talking themselves into the fact that, oh, this is a collectible item. Even if it's not my cup of tea, I'm going to be able to flip this thing for 80 to 130% of whatever I spent for it. Like, and that is, I think, the path to victory for a Kickstarter like this, when you have a 9-inch thick box. And I don't care what your theme is, what your gameplay, what your mechanisms. If you have a 9-inch thick box, that's... Okay, so we got fancy coins. Cool, I guess. The fancy dice, which, okay. Other fancy dice. Yeah. Get a copy of the Savage Skies expansion, which, once again, I assume adds a higher player count, but you didn't really tell me. Maybe you'll tell me down here. What is this? What am I even looking at here? This is like, okay, so this is just all for the STL people. But it looks nice and flashy. I will give him that. Like, this looks solid. I'm sure if I knew what was going on here, I would be pretty excited, but I don't. Oh, are these physical add-ons? Resin add-ons. So these are minis. Are they in the box? That's so weird that you're showing me the images of the box. Why is there a phone in the upper right-hand corner? Oh, they're bags? Oh, they're bagged minis. So this was what they were. And so here's the other thing. This does not just look like they're making a game. They are making a game. They are making a game with no minis. They are making a game expansion. They're making 2 expansions, I believe it was. They're making these individual bagged things that are all going to be bagged. And presumably, you're going to have a print run of at least, 500 to 1,000 of each and every one of these? Is that what we're saying here? I don't know. Or unless these were already something they had from the previous Kickstarter, which may be the case. But man, this is raw material in the color of the game for a printer. Oh, raw material in the colors of... Thank you, Steven. You are my Enrique Iglesias, my hero. Ahoy! Sorry I'm late to the party. Hey, Jeremy, what's up? Wow, so this is just the Tiny Minis STL file, and it's wow, $425. Okay. Want to see our STL? Nope, don't. All right, so I will give them kudos right now for this shipping section. Love the shipping section. Not a big... Well, and it's right after the add-ons, too. So, okay. Solid. I mean, it's still buried at the bottom, but whatever. Because it covers all the different pledge levels. Every single pledge level here. Because I believe we have... How many pledge levels do we have? We have... That's STL, so obviously... Base game... Yeah, so they covered the shipping for every single one of these. I love that. Okay, sales tax plus VAT are not included in this VAT. So you are going to get jacked by the VAT. Shipping date, mid-2023. So they're hoping for August. They're probably hoping for Gen Con Origins, if they were lucky. And then we have our partners, Battle Maps, Critical Crafting, Magazine. I don't know what this is, kind of confusing here, but whatever. People, stuff, backer kit, pledge manager, okay. So, check out did they do an FAQ and update and comment? How many people is the game for? Wow, this is your only frequently asked question. If this is your only frequently asked question, this goes back to what I hammered on right at the beginning of this video. This is something I should know before I even click on your Kickstarter project. And I like to, let's look. This one doesn't do it, but more people, damn it. Okay, we're getting some bad habits here. They're not doing it. God, okay. That drives me mad. But a lot of projects do it. The game is designed for 3+ player dynamic. That is a terrible answer. That sounds like, hey, yeah, if you guys keep giving us money, this thing will go up to 12. I mean, hell, we'll keep throwing stuff in there. We'll keep throwing tiles in there. I just... 3+ players. Now, I know you're trying to keep your stretch goals close to your vest. I feel like this... I honestly feel like this is a weird Kickstarter. It feels very fluid to me. But the fact that I come to you point blank and say, how many players is this for? You're like, oh, 3+. You say, well, it says 3 to 4, so it's just 3 to 4? Well, no, we have the expansion there. Does the expansion add players? I don't know. Actually, let's go look at the Kickstarter. Does the Kickstarter mention 3 to 4? Okay. Then why not just say it's a 3 to 4 player game? That's so weird to me. Hey everyone, Benny here. First off, I want to say a heartfelt and endless thank you to the backers who support Aldarra so far. A lot of you repeat backers, a lot of you are new. We thank you all so much. Why are we canceling? Because some of you are aware the cost of the game has been controversial to say the least. That's only, I believe, because you didn't spotlight the fact it's 9 inches thick. In all honesty, we were not expecting a response and displeasure for the cost of the game. Once people saw how large and beautiful the miniatures were, but we were wrong. Well, I don't think necessarily you're wrong. I think that you just didn't market yourself as such. I saw just another Space Minis game. That's what I saw. I did just another Space Minis game, I think yesterday, the day before that. And you looked exactly like that one. That one actually focused more on its gameplay. And I think its gameplay looks way cooler than yours because I don't feel like you put much emphasis into your gameplay there. At least in the video and whatnot. But I think at a 9-inch thick box, which is 2 to 3 feet wide, you spotlight those things more. And then I shut my mouth about that price tag. Because once again, I don't feel like that shipping was that unreasonable. Now, if you're outside the U.S., you're going to get jacked by the VAT, and that's just the way it is. But when I'm thinking of a box that is that massive, like this is like this. It's like this thing right here. This is how I have to carry this thing. I don't think the 250 is unreasonable. And so while people are hammering on this on the price, I think that's just because you didn't market yourself well enough as being what you are. We have been discussing internally for the last day, listening to all the comments on Kickstarter and feedback, even the not so nice ones. We're currently reassessing the pricing and scale. Oh no! And this is going to be so interesting. This is going to be so fascinating to me. Because I hope the only lesson they learn here is not, okay, we're just going to lower the size of the minis a little bit, we'll tweak the STL files, and then we will just relaunch this game in slightly slower. Like, I hope that's not what they take away from this, because I definitely think there's, I don't know. Current backers and future backers, if you back this game because you love big minis, I urge you to please check back as soon as we have adjusted the pricing. Will the minis be as big? No, but I promise they will still be beautiful, and they will still be great on the table. And once again, he's talking straight to the minis people. First, hey, minis people, come over here. The rest of you go sit down over there. We'll talk in a second. I'm here for the minis people. Like, that doesn't give me a good feeling as a board game player. Because hucksters like you come and go. And I'm not saying you're a huckster, but I'm just saying people like you are like, hey, we got games. We used to do STLs, but now we're doing board games, and we're going to set the world on fire. We got the best characters. It's like, Okay. I was really looking forward to this set. While expensive, it was unique and beautiful to look at. I appreciate your vision to your loyal customers, but at the same time, you had people like myself throwing money at this project and feeling jaded. Yep. Sometimes the long game requires daring you had with this unique set. It was expensive because of what it brought to the table. Manual, preach. And now you will come back with something less than thrilling for a cheaper price. Yes, you are going to essentially say, oh, no, we're not something special. We're going to mush ourselves into just another space-themed minis game. And I don't, that might work. That might be the play. But I think you take another swing. Think another, like, if you have it, I don't know. Because third time, are you going to have people coming back the third? I don't know. It's such a weird one. I hope, and this is fun. I'm so glad I tried this segment of checking out a project that had been canceled and discussing it. Because this is such an interesting, it's an interesting idea. I hope you had a better plan than this is to hope to get people to buy in again. Good luck. Hey, everyone, just a note. The link from the newsletter hasn't been updated properly to the live site, whatever. This is a shame. I was actually backing because of how large and beautiful the minis were. And yes, this now comes to my brain. I imagine the majority of the people are here, once again, because we're not super focused on gameplay, are here for the massive monstrosity of this box. And now you're essentially saying, yeah, we're not going to make it massive and monstrosity. We're going to make it, just it's going to be big, but it's going to be regular big size. And so, yeah, these people are going to be pissed because they bought into how big this was. They did their research and they found, oh, this thing is not just another space game. It's a massive space game. I do agree with House Hendo's responsibility with possibly a cheaper version with cardboard standees. Yeah, that's a good idea, I think, and that's a bad idea. I say it's a good idea because you're going to please a large portion of the people in theory. But at the same time, that's another product you're making. That's two more products you're making because you're presumably making the base game and you're presumably making the expansion. And once again, need I remind you, they are first-time game makers. They've done some tabletop stuff, but this is their first board game. And with a launch like this, I'm just really concerned. Hey, Alexis, we're going to try to find the best middle ground solution between beautiful minis and that are as big as possible at lower cost that are not only cheaper per pledge, but also for shipping. Seriously, COVID has made it verifiable, blah, blah, blah. I was only in for the STLs. Can you keep that tier as is? Thanks for the suggestions. We have something we will likely stick with the miniatures. It's very unfortunate to the year have to cancel and make reassessment on all the amazing miniatures just due to bad reviews coming. I really hope that you guys do not give up on such an amazing project. Maybe find a way to make a version with the current miniatures as well as another version with the new scaled miniatures. And that actually I don't think is... Well, here's the thing. It seems like an easy fix. You're like, all right, why don't you just have both? But the bottom line is that when you bring down that print size of a game like this with that many miniatures that are that big, the price goes up. And then, what are they going to do? Are they going to tweak the price to make it an even bigger price? Or are they going to increase the cost of the Kickstarter campaign to say, oh, we actually need $300,000? Which, once again, that's always risky business as well. Or are you just going to, throw caution to the wind, relaunch this thing with that pledge level, and just hope and pray that you actually get the $400,000 or $500,000 that you... Well, maybe it's not that much, but the amount of money that you need to make the game. And I am so... Absolutely. This is going to be a day one checkout. I am now excited to check out Aldarra when it does relaunch, just to see the path that they try and take and how it works. Actually, I'm going to do it a couple days after because I want to see the response to it. I wonder if there's a way to add a poor man's tier that would still give them the bulk they need for the MOQ on the deluxe version. I don't know. It's just so many questions here. And it's so weird to me that we have gotten to the point in Kickstarter where we are right now. Like, this is like, if I would have told you this was a problem 10 years ago, like, it's so weird. Give those who want the large version. Okay. So we got people mad now. People mad about the price, and people mad about you buckling to the people mad about the price, and you're just stuck in the middle. I'm sad about this, but look forward to the relaunch. Personally, like the big minis. So they are responding here. In the end, final grade on this one. It's not a very good one. Because if you have a massive game like this and you're not pitching it as such, I feel like that's a big misstep. I feel like you need to mention if this, and the other thing is, do those expansions, like, how is that not even answered? I legitimately do not know if those expansions are going to let me play 5 to 6 players. And that is huge. That is massive. Your Board Game Geek does not tell me. Your page, at least as far as I could see, and I just spent the last 42 minutes on it, does not tell me. You're expecting me to pay 300 and... Oh, Jesus, 440. So, well, but that's Canadian. So roughly, where's the U.S. currency? It's like $400 or something like that with the shipping. And you're not telling me the player count. Like, it's just, so I'm going to go with a... They focus completely on the minis. The gameplay was secondary, even though I think you have a good designer who has a pedigree of games that, even if you just list those, I think some people are like, oh, I played that before. Oh, I've heard of that one before. It just gives you a little bit more air of credibility. You don't mention in here you're a board gamer. It's just tons and tons and tons of little things combined with the fact that it's a monstrosity of a price. But once again, I don't feel like that's the big issue here. So I got to go with it. Final grade. I'm trying to think of what I liked about the project. Because I don't want to say F. I don't want to say F. I love the fact they took a swing on a massive game like this. And so that immediately gets me to a D-. But then the stretch goal being the early bird, like that's, I'm going to the D- on this. Not mentioning Matt Fantastic, not mentioning enough information about the expansions, your focus on minis over gameplay in just every single turn. D-. Let me know in the comments below, what is your final grade for Aldarra? The project that 7,000 pre-backers, 575 backers canceled after a day. That's... Let me know what your final grade is. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Bye-bye.